Okay, in today's video about ICP, I want to focus a bit more on just this part of the price action, which spooked quite a lot of people. I'm going to tell you why this is absolutely normal and we just do not have anything to be worried about. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones. And as you can see, in the last 24 hours, we got this move on the downside. First, let's measure it from the highest high to about the lowest low so far. As you can see, this is a 30% correction. And recently, I have been noticing that quite a lot of people are actually new to the crypto market. So if you are new, you are probably quite scared about this decent move on the downside. However, I'm here to tell you this is absolutely normal in the crypto market. Let's go back and check some other examples. For instance, let's go on H-bars chart and daily time frame. Let's see what happened in this bull run in 2020-2021. You might say, well, okay, these are big moves on the upside and we didn't really stop a whole lot. Well, unfortunately, that's not true. You see, what happened in this initial phase? From one sense, we had about an 8x move on the upside to somewhere around 8.5 cents. And what happened after that? Let's measure this move down from the highest side to about here. As you can see, this is an 80% correction structure on the downside. And a lot of people were saying that, well, okay, our bull run is over and we will never ever going to go up. But what happened after it? We just got a continuation of the uptrend. Let's check out even some moves in this phase right in here, which seem to be quite small. However, they are not. You see, you might say, well, okay, this is a relatively sharp move on the upside. And I do agree with you, but that doesn't mean that in this phase, we didn't have decent moves on the downside. For example, what happened just in this move right in here? From, let's say, 16.5 cents, we had what? About a 50% move on the downside. But in the next couple of days, as you can see, we just got a bounce back and continued our uptrend. Now, in ICP, so far, we are having only a 30% move down and a lot of people are scared. And I guess that's kind of fair enough because a lot of them are new to the market. But if you are an OG and you have been around for quite some time, I do not expect these kinds of feelings, at least from you. So again, I want to be very clear. This is a very normal move on the downside, nothing to be worried about, and nothing really has changed in here. Let's go on our original chart. I think it was from crypto.com. There we go. So if you remember the last time that we talked about ICP, let's go on H4 time frame. Okay, we were somewhere around the highest side in this region, about, let's say, 15.5 bucks. And I was saying, well, okay, technically this can be a bullish triangle, but we can have, for example, an ABC expanded flat, which means, well, maybe the next move is going to be on the downside. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't really think that we're going to have a move down like this. No, I was more like thinking maybe we're going to get a move down just in order to take this low around $13.5, and then afterwards we can get a bounce back. However, that did not happen. Instead, this move was a bit deeper than I expected. But again, I want to be very clear. This doesn't mean that now we are in ICP going to be 100% bearish. Absolutely not. First, let's check out this area and see what is happening in terms of classic TA, meaning support and resistances. And we talked about it before. This is a very important resistance area, which so far we can say we got a rejection from it. Now, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, we were actually under this resistance and we were saying, well, okay, if we want to say that this is broken, we need to get an initial move above it and then pull back and a continuation of the move up, which we did get that. And in my books, this is now a broken resistance area, which means it's going to, from here going on, act as a support region. And you might say, well, it seems like that we actually broke this region on the downside. That is not true. You see, this is from weekly and daily time frame at the same time. And if you want to say that we broke this region on the downside, well, okay, you need to go in weekly chart, see a candle close under here and then pull back, and followed by that a continuation of the move down in order to take this low. And do we have it or not? Let's go on weekly chart, zoom in more. Okay, as you can see right now, we're not even having a candle close under here. And for now, I would like to argue there is nothing to be worried about. Does this mean that we're not going to go down anymore? No, There is no certainty in any market and we cannot say anything for sure. But the important point in here is this: we shouldn't really, at least at the moment, jump into any unnecessary bearish conclusion and say in ICP we're not going to have a bull run anymore and we're just going to go down in order to set new lows. I just do not buy that. Now, what is going on in terms of Elliott waves? Well, in that area, some scenarios have been invalidated, but our general bullish thesis remains the same. You see, if you want to argue, for example, we're going to have our final bottom somewhere around this area, maybe this is like a very important support, then okay, you need to be able to find off of the lowest low in this region a 5 wave on the upside. This specific example is a normal 5 wave. The rules for it are we shouldn't have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of impulsive movement, wave 3 right in here should not be the smallest wave, and in terms of the sub waves, we must have 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. There we go. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have many different possibilities. Doesn't really matter a whole lot. Let's say maybe ABC into wave 4 and a WXYS rusher into wave 2 right in here. Understood? Okay, let's go on the live chart and count some waves. So here is the situation. The idea before this move on the downside in ICP was that because in here we are having constantly overlapping of the waves, maybe we are dealing with a series of 1-2s, which suggests soon we're going to get some more sharp moves on the upside. And I can tell you right now, at least this scenario is invalidated. Fair enough, I was wrong. I would like to apologize for it. However, the general bullish scenario remains intact. Now I'm going to say maybe we're having something like this. Let's just say this one. Okay, this is, I still believe, a 1, a correction for 2, big move up into wave 3 to about here, and probably not around this high. This whole move down is just a correction, potentially an A, B, C running flat into wave 4, and this is actually a 5 wave up into wave 5. It is quite hard to find an impulse in here, but I think it is possible. Now, on a higher degree, I would like to say, based on the current evidence, that we are having a wave 1, 2, big move up into wave 3, and the current move down is just going to be a correction for wave 4, and after it's over, we're going to get another move on the upside into wave 5. So you see, we can still absolutely have our bullish scenarios in ICP's price chart, and this move down hasn't really changed a whole lot. And if you are still worried and are still scared, and you want to know what is going to be the invalidation point for the whole bullish scenario, well, I'm going to tell you it's probably going to be taking the lowest low right in here around $7. If we get a continuation of this move down, in order to take this low at that point, we are going to argue that in internet computer, from this point, we're not going to have an impulsive rusher anymore. Instead, this whole move up was just a correction, and maybe our move down is going to continue quite a bit, but even in that case, not that much. However, this is the main point. In order to build the foundation for another magnificent bull run, okay, that is going to take some time. But again, I just do not believe that in this phase we are actually going to go down and take this low. I think these prices might be gone forever. So let's have our final conclusion and wrap up today's video. These types of moves on the downside in altcoin market are extremely normal. And if you are new to this market, you should know that in a bull run, we get moves like this all the time. Why is that? This is, I would say, mainly in order to close some long positions which were open with an insane amount of leverages, and this is basically in order to destroy them. That's why I believe in this market, in an alt season, we shouldn't really be using a whole lot of leverage. Now, if you are an investor like me, well, then you absolutely do not have anything to be worried about. And Elliott waves and classic technical analysis, meaning support and resistances, at least for now, suggests pretty much the same. And like I showed you in coins like HBAR and some other examples, back in 2020, even 2017 bull run, we had some relatively, I would say, sharp moves on the downside, maybe 50 to even 80% moves. But after those moves were over, we just continued our uptrend. And I do believe that something like this is going to happen also to internet computers soon. That's why I think we need to just relax. Nothing really has happened yet. So I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in internet computers chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.